Since Audi first launched the e-tron SUV in 2019, it has added the voluptuous e-tron GT sedan and the smaller Q4 e-tron crossover to its electric arsenal. Now, the original e-tron is gaining a new moniker to differentiate it from its fellow electric Audis as part of a substantial overhaul. Rechristened as the Q8 e-tron, the facelift EV arrives with fresh styling and increased range, and the sleek Sportback and more powerful S, now called SQ8 e-tron, variants also returned. The new name doesn't eliminate confusion entirely, however, as there are also distinct gasoline-powered Q8 and SQ8 models. Calling it the Q6 e-tron would have been a better move in our opinion. While Europe receives a base model with a smaller battery and less power. The only configurations that will be sold in the United States are the Q8 e-tron 55 and the SQ8 e-tron, which replaces the e-tron S. Power outputs are unchanged from before. The 55, with all-wheel drive via a dual-motor setup, maxes out at 402 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque in sport mode. The SQ8 e-tron, meanwhile, packs 3 electric motors, with a 166 horsepower unit up front and 2 131 horsepower motors housed on the rear axle, producing a combined 496 horsepower and 718 pound-feet of torque in sport mode. The 55 model reaches 62 miles per hour in a claimed 5.6 seconds, while the SQ8 drops that sprint to 4.5 ticks. Top speed for the 55 is limited to 124 miles per hour, and the SQ8 e-tron can hit 130 miles per hour. Both models utilize a battery with 106.0 kilowatt-hours of usable capacity. Audi says it is aiming for certain versions of the updated model to have an EPA estimated range above 300 miles, or a 30 to 40% increase over the current model's EPA range that tops out at 222 miles. On the European WLTP test cycle, the Q8 e-tron lineup is rated at between 307 and 373 miles of range. Audi also claims the Q8 e-tron will charge at a rate of up to 170 kilowatts, with the battery charging from 10 to 80% in as quickly as 31 minutes on a DC fast charger. The 2024 Q8 e-tron's bump-in range is the product of an upgraded rear motor and improved aerodynamics. The asynchronous motor on the rear axle now uses 14 coils to generate its electromagnetic field, up from 12. This makes the motor more efficient, since it can use less electricity to create the same amount of torque, or produce more torque using the same amount of energy as the old 12-coil design. Aerodynamics also play a huge role. The restyled front end has decreased the drag coefficient slightly to 0.24 for the Sportback and 0.27 for the SUV. The Q8 e-tron also adds larger wheel spoilers up front on the underbody of the vehicle, channeling airflow around the front wheels to help the large crossover carve through the air more efficiently. While the overall body shape remains the same, the Q8 e-tron debuts a new mask-like grille design, visually linking it with the e-tron GT and Q4 e-tron. The new grille also features a light bar over the Audi logo, connecting the headlights. The grille presents a new version of Audi's 4-ringed logo, and the logo and model designation are also laser-etched into the car's B-pillar. The Q8 e-tron comes standard with an air suspension, and the body height can be adjusted by about 3 inches. There's also revised tuning for the air springs and an updated steering ratio. The big addition to the Q8 e-tron suite of driver assistance systems is Remote Park Assist Plus, which can navigate the SUV into tight spots as the owner controls the process from outside the vehicle via a smartphone app. The Q8 e-tron also features digital matrix LED headlights that can individually illuminate different sections of the road depending on the conditions, but these lights remain exclusive to Europe for the time being due to different regulations in the United States. The interior is centered around 2 touchscreens, a 10.1-inch unit situated above an 8.6-inch display that handle almost every function, although drivers can also use voice commands. Options include features such as a head-up display, 4-zone climate control, and massaging seats. A light brown walnut wood interior trim is new. The S-Line package adds seats wrapped in synthetic leather and a microfiber called Dina Mica, which is made from recycled bottles, fiber residue, and used textiles. The Q8 e-tron arrives in the United States at the end of April 2023. Pricing will be announced later, but we don't expect a major increase over the current starting price of $71,995 for the standard model and $89,395 for the S. Stay tuned to Auto RBX for all the latest, and let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.